George Herbert Walker Bush. We are a nation of communities, a brilliant diversity spread like stars, like 1,000 points of light in a broad and peaceful sky. We know what works. Freedom works. We know what's right. Freedom is right. Our God is a forgiving God. I stand for anti-bigotry, anti-Semitism, and anti-racism. I have opinions of my own, strong opinions, but I don't always agree with them. I know my serve stinks, but I was a pretty good tennis player. I think in defeat you grope for things that are happy, and it's hard. I hope my own children never have to fight a war. It's much worse to read criticism about your son than yourself. It's no exaggeration to say that the undecideds could go one way or another. Bill Clinton. We all do better when we work together. Our differences do matter, but our common humanity matters more. There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America. When our memories outweigh our dreams, it is then that we become old. If you live long enough, you'll make mistakes. But if you learn from them, you'll be a better person. It's how you handle adversity, not how it affects you. The main thing is never quit, never quit, never quit. Being president is like being the groundskeeper in a cemetery. There are a lot of people under you, but none of them are listening. If you want to live like a Republican, vote like a Democrat. People around the world have always been more impressed by the power of our example than by the example of our power. We cannot build our own future without helping others to build theirs. Mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of, but stigma and bias shame us all. You can put wings on a pig, but that doesn't make it an eagle. George Walker Bush. One of the great things about books is sometimes there are some fantastic pictures. They misunderestimated me. One of the hardest parts of my job is to connect Iraq to the war on terror. If this were a dictatorship, it would be a heck of a lot easier, as long as I'm the dictator. He. It's clearly a budget. It's got lots of numbers in it. It has come to my attention that air pollution is polluting the air. My job is a decision-making job, and as a result, I make a lot of decisions. I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully. In my sentences I go where no man has gone before. I don't care what the polls say. I don't. I'm doing what I think what's wrong. Barack Obama. In the 21st century, the best anti-poverty program around is a world-class education. We can end global poverty and hunger within our lifetimes. My fellow Americans, we are and always will be a nation of immigrants. We were strangers once, too. With passion and courage, women have taught us that when we band together to advocate for our highest ideals, we can advance our common well-being and strengthen the fabric of our nation. As the wealthiest nation on earth, I believe the United States has a moral obligation to lead the fight against hunger and malnutrition, and to partner with others. We can't ask a child to feed her mind when she can barely feed her stomach. So let's sustain this progress. Let's make hunger history. I believe that by 2030, we can bring electricity to over 60 million African homes and businesses. And that will be transformative for the entire continent. And we are proving that countries don't have to choose between expanding access to power and combating climate change. Our vision is within reach, the first AIDS-free generation. Donald Trump. When you are wronged repeatedly, the worst thing you can do is continue taking it, fight back. As long as you are going to be thinking anyway, think big. Show me someone without an ego, and I'll show you a loser. Sometimes your best investments are the ones you don't make. What's the point of having great knowledge and keeping them all to yourself? Anyone who thinks my story is anywhere near over is sadly mistaken. I know words. I have the best words. Remember, there's no such thing as an unrealistic goal, just unrealistic time frames. And if it can't be fun, what's the point? I like to think of the word focus as follow one course until successful.